All right, I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everybody to the first meeting in 2025. I'd like to start off real quickly and ask real quickly for just a moment of silence. You know, we lost two people recently, one being the President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. But we also lost a friend of the town of Elkton and John Brummel, husband of Jean. Anyone that knew John, he was very active as a volunteer for many, many years. And I'd just like to ask everyone, let's just take a second of pulse. Thank you. First up, off the agenda, Earl Ponder, I'd like for you to say a couple words.
Oh, okay. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody for the first meeting this year. And I would like to ask for Andy, is it Tokish?
Tokat.
To come forward, please.
All yours, and we'll get a picture up here.
Okay. I guess Andy, come up front here. I guess Andy could recognize me from the store at Premier Auto. He's a worker. I'm a customer. On the day of December the 16th, I think it was, there was a fire that was put right there in the median of Route 40 and Premier Auto. Someone apparently shot a flare over and it ended up in the media. It was around 4:30, 5 o'clock. And everyone just happened to turn around and look. We heard a sound and then all of a sudden the flare started. Me knowing that I'm not a firefighter or anything, I just happened to say, oh, look, a fire. Someone else said, oh, look, there's a fire. Before you know it, and he said, fire, somebody put it out. So eventually he acted as our Elkton hero and ran out in the media strip with another worker of his and took the fire extinguisher, ran in, happened to look and said, did anybody else notice? I started saying, no, not me, but anyway, that would have been a lie. But anyway, he acted as some citizens probably wouldn't have waited for the fire company to come by or whatever, but he started putting out the fire. It started from one spot, then it went from, I guess, within 20 to 30 seconds of widespread in the media strip. So long story short, we want to thank.
I'm going to go ahead and read it if you don't mind.
Oh, you mean I'm talking too much?
No, you're doing good. You laid all the groundwork. Earl, here, these are yours. These are yours.
But I mean, I was really impressed the way he reacted with what other people wouldn't do, but he's going to read the citation to Andy.
So it says, be it known that on behalf of the mayor and commissioners, along with the citizens of the Elkton community, in recognition of your initiative and swift action on December 16, 2024, when a flare which was discharged from an unknown location came to rest in the media near Route 40 near Premier Auto, sparking a fire. Mr. Tokash immediately responded to the area and extinguished the flames, preventing a potentially hazardous situation from escalating. Therefore, we, the mayor and commissioners of the town of Elkton, hereby formally extend our appreciation for your commendable efforts. Thank you, Andy.
We'd like to present you a challenge coin that is coming from the town of Elkton. We always like to give this to Brandon, your manager at the store. Okay, thanks.
Stand up here next to Earl. We're going to get right behind you, and we're going to get a picture. Hold that right in front of him.
I wanted to take 20 more minutes.
There you go. Perfect.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Want to take a picture?
Yes, please. Bring your family up here. Come on up.
Now, I'm gonna finish my story, but no, I'm just kidding.
We give Earl the floor, and he'll keep going and going and going. All right, everyone, turn around there and smile real big.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
No, you did great. You had it all the way down. Premier also, you missed the whole event.
Hey, I was here.
You were here. We'll do it over. We'll do it over for you. Thank you all so much. And you don't have to stick around if you don't want to stick around. Feel comfortable leaving. Okay, the minutes of December 18th. We have a motion to approve the minutes. We got a motion. We have a second for the minutes. And a second. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay, financial report and payment of the bills. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carried. Okay, we have resolution R10-2024, amending the charter of the town of Elkton, Article 8, Section C8-3, providing for additional indebtedness by the town under specific circumstances presented for adoption. So the town board had a public hearing several meetings ago, or several weeks ago, not so much the meetings ago, but several weeks ago. And we tabled it until we could get here for a couple weeks for adoption. We have Kimberly Min, I think Lou George is on the also on the Zoom meeting if you have any questions. But if not, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve resolution R10-2024. We got a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay, resolution R1-2025, providing for the certain changes in the terms of the town guarantee and replenishment agreement between the town and the MEDCO, which is the Maryland Economic Development Corporation, also known as the Town Replenishment Agreement. This was previously approved under resolution R8-2024, and then a supplemental resolution R13-2024. This is a change because we changed the other language. This has to be changed for this language. So it's a little bit more clerical in this resolution R1-2025. Do we have a motion to approve resolution R1-2025?
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Okay, Lou, can you hear us? Do you want the town administrator's report, or do you want me to?
Yes, can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay, the next item we have was the proclamation 1-25, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King birthday commemoration. I'll read that. A proclamation of the mayor and commissioners of the town of Elkton in recognition of the 96th birthday of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was born on January 15th, 1929. Whereas Wright's AME Church hosted a prayer breakfast commemorating Reverend King's birthday on the third Monday of January from 1970 to 2018, and whereas due to the increased participation of this event, Five Rivers Church graciously opened its doors in 2019. And whereas Five Rivers Church will once again welcome our community to engage in fellowship and reflection on Dr. King's teaching of nonviolent protests against racial bigotry, discrimination, and hatred. Now, therefore, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners of the town of Elkton and citizens of the community, we hereby present this special recognition of the 96th birthday of the late Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Do we have a motion to approve proclamation P1-2025, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. birthday?
So moved.
We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion on it? Hearing none, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you, Lou. Next item.
The next one is for introduction, ordinance 1-2025. Some time ago, the board enacted a amendment to the town code for the collection of major facility fees. Initially, according to the ordinance, the town would collect 25% initially for development, and then subsequently 75% to finalize the payment. However, this tracking and keeping track and some of the problems we're having with that we're recommending that all 100% of the major facilities fee be paid up front rather than through a 25/75. However, the residential development would not apply to them at this time because from June 25th, 2024 through June 25th, 2026, major facilities for residential development have been waived. So this would only pertain to commercial development, industrial development, and things of that nature. So we recommend that the board agree to enact ordinance 1 or accept it for introduction purposes.
We have a motion to accept ordinance 1-2025, amending the code on major facility fees collection, presented for introduction.
So moved.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion? Only comment I will make is I do agree with this, Lou. I think what's happened over the years, we collect a portion of it and we do our, is that me or things? We do our best to make sure that we got all of our I's dotted and our T's crossed, but I know that sometimes it slips through, but this way it's creating a safe way to make sure we're collecting all the fees that are due to the town of Elkton.
Yeah, this is a more efficient way of
Yeah, I would
using those
agree.
fees.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries.
That's all I had tonight, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Lou. I got a couple items. First up, we have a reappointment to the Planning Commission for the, I'd like to reappoint G. Edward Ginder to the Planning Commission for the term of February 1, 2025 to January 31st, 2030. Do we have support for Ed Ginder?
I move.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any discussion on Ed Ginder? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Sorry, you baited me.
I did. I baited you there a little bit, huh? Okay. I did miss the last meeting and I just wanted to make sure that I recognized everyone that attended the recognition event at Mixed Crab House. I thought it was a great event and, we don't all that often, we don't pay our volunteers that serve for the town of Elkton. And folks like Pat give a lot of hours to the town of Elkton, serves on the Alliance Committee, the Elk Landing Committee, and whatever we asked. And when we have volunteers, I think it's in our best interest to be able to buy them a dinner once in a while. And that's what we did. And I think Mix did a pretty good job for us that evening. And just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of that. Tomorrow evening is Cecil night in Annapolis. So I know that several of us are going down. I'm happy to drive us down. Cecil night in Annapolis gives us an opportunity to meet with our state legislators, our state senators, our state delegates, as well as other senators and delegates in other districts. And it gives us an opportunity to meet them more on a personal level. And it gives us an opportunity to talk about some of the great things that are happening in our community. And so I'm looking forward for all of us to go down. Commissioner Givens, I appreciate the invite for the, on January 18th for the event at Five Rivers Church. I will be there this year. I'm glad it's on a Saturday, quite frankly, because I can make it now. So that'll work out pretty well. I do appreciate that. A couple meetings ago, in fact, I sent it out to the board on December the 4th. I asked everyone to take a look. We're trying to create the Frenchtown Wharf down at the end of Frenchtown Road, which will be what I consider a waterfront area for the town of Elkton, which will be something our residents and our visitors can enjoy for years and years to come. If we could ever get that underway. We received a grant from the state of Maryland for several $100,000 to do a technical planning design to make sure that it can be done. We've had this money, and I want to stress to the board, and I stressed it in December, the state of Maryland's in a little bit of heat this year with their budget. I think you're seeing more and more that there's billions of dollars in the deficit as of right now.
Couple of
Yes. And we have this grant in hand, and I was told by Delegate Grist that if we don't move forward with this thing, this is going to be something that they're going to take away from us probably pretty quickly. So what I'd asked, one of the things that I'd asked the board to take a look at and ask for their approval on is we work with KCI as our town engineer, and they do a good job. I mean, they're a Fortune 500 company. I think everyone respects the work that they do. I'd like to hire KCI to work with us on this grant to see if this thing is feasible. So the challenge here is, a little bit of a challenge is that the wharf is still in the Southfields development group's name, so there'll have to be a memorandum of understanding with the town of Elkton to be able to subdivide X amount of acres. But I'd like to move forward and waive what I'm calling a conflict with KCI, working with both parties to move forward. So that's what I'm asking. So I'd like to ask the board to support KCI in moving forward with this work. And they gave us a price of $25,000 out of that $500,000 grant to see if this project is feasible. So as the town, can I have some support? Would you support that?
Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Could I have a motion of support?
I make a motion that we move forward with support for the grant that has been extended to Cecil County, and specifically the amount of money that was devoted to the town of Elkton.
Sterling, do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Well,
Aye.
hey, Gene.
Hi, guys. Hi, gentlemen.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. But while I'm on speaker, thank you for all your support you've given me. I love y'all for it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk here shortly.
It's all right.
Let's see. The one last thing that I had is I invited, I'm going to bring Tom and Candy, come on down, if you would. So I invited Tom Quinn and Candy Bathon to come down today. The town of Elkton is behind East Village Street, Greymount. I think it's called Greymount Commons or Grant. Yeah, that'd be great, Tom. Where the developer is doing a project of putting in, I think, 100+ townhouses. And what's happened, and it's of no fault really of anybody, in my opinion, but the folks that currently live on East Village, and I'm going to let you guys explain exactly what it is. It's going to create a little bit of a hardship for them to be able to mow the grass in the backyards, but I'm not sure what we can do. But I'd like for you guys to tell us what you're seeing, if you could.
Huh.
What's that again?
I said Chip is on.
Yeah, and we got Chip online too.
I think that he's on it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, good, get me.
So who's going to take the lead and tell us what
Does
you
he
got?
need to see this?
Yeah, and explain it to the board. I know what it's about, but I know that,
Okay, so if you look where Tom wrote East Village, we are property owners of the 2 rows of townhouses that are now going to become landlocked by this new development. And then on the new development, it looks like they have 1 row of townhouses that could also make them landlocked. I understand from Chip that it's going to be a community where they cut the grass. So hopefully that those houses won't be able to have private fences, but our concern is if they put up a neighborhood fence on the property line, we won't be able to get back and forth to cut the grass. We won't be able to get emergency vehicles back. If you had a tree you had to cut down, we will have no access whatsoever. So we were hoping that maybe by being proactive before anything's built, maybe the town could help by, if they were going to put up a community fence, they could grant some type of easement back on their property, back to the town or something, just so that these 2 rows of townhouses don't become landlocked.
Gotcha.
So your ownership begins with 134?
Well, they're not
Yeah,
gonna be
No,
landlocked.
I see where you are above where it's written East Village, but I'm just saying there's numerically above that with the numbers going from left to right as I look at this.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I'm sorry.
142.
Yeah, 142 would be the town portion, and the green rectangles are existing structures.
Mhm.
And then the yellow, just the lots behind there are gonna be where there's gonna be future homes.
Okay.
So, I mean, I only have 1 house, but we're here, I don't know how many Tommy has, but we're here on behalf of both of these rows of townhouses, just to try to prevent before we have a problem that is a bigger problem.
Well, I think we're gonna, I went out there, as I told you, this morning, I went out there and drove through there, and it's, the one comment I did have is that, how are they doing it now? I mean, it's landlocked today, but it could be worse with a fence, is what you're saying.
Well, it never was because it was empty land. So everybody's just kind of walked around with their lawnmowers and done, because when those houses were built, it still said property of Ken. And
Okay,
yes, technically, everybody was trespassing, but now that this new development's been approved and you see what's gonna happen, and there's gonna be townhouses right here.
gotcha.
I'm specifically worried about, water runoff. Like, so in those pictures, I've been taking pictures
Mhm.
systematically, starting in September.
Yep,
And if you look at that September view where the tree is to the left, it shows the fence at the corner. That's 142, the back of 142, looking towards Delancey Road, towards your water tower.
yep,
So basically on the left side there, those trees that were existing in that first photo, that was the grade. So right after they got done clearing the land, the silt fence isn't even up yet. So you can see how the grade was. So back in behind here, we've always had a lot of trouble with the water runoff.
mhm,
And actually in the spring, I was convinced that the water tower was leaking water because there was so much water coming down and there wasn't a lot more rain.
yep,
And what it was explained to me because I had them come out there and test the water because with a chlorine strip to make sure that the water tank wasn't leaking.
yes.
Because I was like, there's no
I've
way
seen
all
that
this
water, I've seen the water go all the way down East Village,
Yeah,
right?
it comes all the way down that alley in the back of the county portion and was always wet back there. So I'm concerned about this because when I went out there today, the snow picture, the last picture there,
Mhm.
you can, if you look at the fence in comparison to the height, now that, and the one picture that was taken in November, it looks, oh, that looks good, you know, and it's deep, and the one in October, there was like a deep trough there. I was like, oh, there's no way we're gonna have a water problem, because look how low that is. But
Mhm.
now, they've actually put the cement pipes in and they filled that swale back in, so I'm not sure how that's, you know, is that gonna take that water? And then literally they raised that grade. It's almost like they knocked the top of the hill back from Delancey and pushed it back towards this side and raised it up. It looks like it's hard to tell from the pictures, but
Mhm.
it actually looks like a mountain when you go back there and look at it.
I went up and in the 2nd-story window of my townhouse, that hill is still higher.
Chip, I know you're online and I know you had an answer for us, but I would ask you maybe, could you ask your inspectors, to really keep a close eye on this, for us?
Sure. It's actually DPW inspectors out there, but part of the technicality of this and how it's designed is, and KCI has reviewed all this, the new developer is not allowed to put any more water off of their property than was previously going off of their property. So if their design is correct and KCI has reviewed it correctly, there should be no issues in the end. And I say should. Sometimes things don't always work 100%, but we will certainly, keep track of this and go out and look at things as they're developing. At this point, it's just too early to really tell, what's going to happen. But a lot of the water that was just running down there is now going to be inside of that pipe. So it's really a whole different story than what was happening there before. And these old townhouses had no access easements designed into their properties, which I guess just commonly wasn't done years ago the way it is today. So yes, as Candy said, technically they've always been trespassing on somebody's property to get to their backyards. In case somebody was wondering about fire apparatus, there's no requirement for fire apparatus to get around to the back of these units. That type of thing doesn't come into play until you get into very large commercial buildings, which are classified as unlimited area buildings. So it's an inconvenience. I think, the people working together with the existing townhomes, and trying to help each other is going to be the best solution here.
I appreciate that. I'll go out and meet with the developer
Okay. thank you.
myself, and we'll take a look at it. I think it was important for you guys to bring it to our attention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, I have nothing else to report. Charles?
I have nothing, unless I think of something.
Earl? Robert?
I would like to once again extend my sympathies to Commissioner Brunel and thank her for the great honor that she gave me, allowing me to participate in John's services. They've been my neighbors for almost 40 years, and I love them like family. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. Gene, would you like to have the floor?
It's hard, but yes. I just want to thank all of you. Each and every one of you has reached out and given me support through this whole time that John has been sick, and I can never thank you enough.
Thank you, Gene. We're still thinking about you every minute.
Well, I look forward to seeing y'all real soon.
All right, thank you. All right, this is the time we open up the floor for anyone from the public that have anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton. Anyone on the floor have something to say? Please state your name and address. Yes, sir. Come on down, or you can stand up from there, whatever you want to do.
Oh, come on.
Come on down.
I had to sit here for my permit one time.
Oh, there you go. Name and address, please.
Okay, I'm Thomas Martinelli. I'm at 23 John Adams Lane in Patriots Glen. And I'm here just to ask a question about the streets and
Yep.
the timing of when the streets, Patriots Way got redone, when
Yes.
Mike took over the golf course.
Yep.
It looked so much better and it's in good shape. And then not long after that, I moved in here. I used to live 2 miles away in Academy Hill. Now I live on the golf course on the 12th hole. And
How are you hitting them? Are you hitting them all right?
lousy,
All right.
absolutely lousy. I need lessons. I've needed lessons for 30 some years and I'm not getting it back. But thanks for asking. But anyway, my street's just coming apart.
Mhm.
So are the others and they're bad.
Okay,
I just drove around a pothole 10 minutes ago coming here.
okay.
With pieces of blacktop all over the ground and the pipes break. They dig up the street.
Yep.
3-4 weeks later, I'm calling, is somebody going to stop me from getting stuff all over my car?
Yep.
And then they come and they patch it. And I think I would probably say, believe it or not, 60 or 70% of my street is actually patches. It's not street anymore.
Okay,
It's that bad. Thomas Jefferson's just as bad. That's my little walk around. And what may be happening is maybe over the years, they were 2-inch top coated, which is what you typically do with blacktop.
mhm.
So you have one side of the street, then you do the other side of the street with a seam in the middle. Well, 15, 16 feet of my street, the seams
Oh,
just
that
coming
wide,
apart,
yeah.
just because it's old.
Yeah.
So I talked to Mark about it in 2023, right after I moved in.
Okay,
He said, you won't see it this year. Maybe you'll see your street be redone next year. 2024 is now gone. And I said, well, maybe I ought to run over to a meeting and just say something. Who knows?
you did the right thing, because the man sitting right behind you, right in front of you where you were sitting, is Dan Hanley. He's our Director of Public Works.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have that street on the list, or can you get it on the list?
Poor Dan, I was already giving him stuff about not plowing my street, but I won't mention that because he already.
All right, very good.
Thank you, by the way.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you letting me talk.
And Dan, put that on the list for the, we'll evaluate it, that's for sure. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys for coming.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything to say? Yes, sir. State your name and address, please.
Sean McDonald, I'm at, 142 East Village Road.
Yep, we got you, we saw your position here. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and, I was just I'm here today just to back up Tom, what he was saying about that. I've been there for about 5 years now.
Okay.
And, we had problems with flooding. We had to put an underground pipe in just to help the drainage out. And I think with that easement, what they were saying, what they added in there is probably gonna be a big help.
Okay.
And, I've been in construction for a few years now. I think that easement will help, but that elevation that she was talking about is, I mean, I don't know too much about it, but it doesn't take a genius to know that that probably is going to change some things. I don't know the future about it, but I'm just supporting what they were saying.
Well, listen, I appreciate you coming in, and we're going to be on it. I can
Okay.
promise you that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anyone on the Zoom meeting have anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton? Kimberly, you have anything to say for the good of the town of Elkton?
I do not. Congratulations on your approvals today.
Well, thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you for joining in.
Of course.
Okay, staff, anything new to say? The only thing that I like to bring up, I sent an email out to the board. The state of Maryland, we were talking about the deficit they're in. I think probably in Patriots Glen, you probably received your new assessment.
Just the other day.
And on average, everything's up over 16%, the assessments in the town of Elkton. And I've never seen an assessment jump like that during my term here, and it's a lot. We'll see how it plays out. But thank you all for coming tonight. Meeting adjourned.